Hi guys, this is a quick go through of some architectural glossary. I'm gonna go through some vocabulary starting from A, and the idea is that you guys should take some notes. I'm gonna go through it quite quickly so that you do not lose interest. So however, you might need to go back and pause if you want to take notes. But it's gonna be in alphabetical order, so what I suggest that you do is that you write A, the word, and then as we progress into the course we are going to be adding on more words. So beginning with A, we have architrave. The architrave is the lowest part of the entablature, so this part that's in red, quite obviously. The part is below the frieze. This is your frieze. We're gonna go into that a little bit later on. It rests directly on the abacus of the column's capital. Speaking of capital, we have C, capital, which is the crown on top of the column, which helps with distributing the weight. This is also usually the part that is decorative depending on which order it belongs to. Here, speaking of orders, we have the composite orders. So these are the different orders that you should take note of. Usually we are talking about the Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. Remember, if you are interested in architecture, in particular if you want to know a bit more about columns, you should know that the mathematical way of calculating is that the column's height should be 10 times the diameter. Perhaps you remember this from studying classical art in year 1. Then we are taking a look at the cornice, which is also decorative in some sense. It's a model projecting part on top of the entablature, which also aided in drainage of water, for example. So you have this part that is sticking out on top, which is making the rainwater go over the edge and not down the facade. Then we have dome, which is this convex curve that, for example, we looked at when we studied the Tempietto by Bramante. Also very famously, we have lots of churches with a dome around Rome, and it even rhymes. The entablature is the structure which lies horizontally above the columns. Okay, so this whole part is called an entablature. It's composed of the architrave, frieze, and the cornice. So it's a group section, let's say a group name for this whole section. Then we divide the sections into your frieze, architrave, and cornice. Flutes is these scorings that you will see in the Greek Doric pillars. In a Doric order they have 20 flutes, and the Ionic, Corinthian, and the composite orders have 24 flutes. Usually the ones that are not fluted are Tuscan. So here we go then with the decorative part. We got the frieze, which is the widest and central part of the entablature. Very often when we have talked about facades on houses, we talked about this part that is decorative, and few of you are asking what is that part called, but that's now you know, it's the frieze. The metope is a square space which is in the frieze between two triglyphs. So what you see in classical temples from the Greek or the Magna Grecia period, usually it has some kind of shield or symbolism, what you have depicted within the metope. A niche is a semicircular part within a wall, usually when we are talking about the interior, but also happens to be outside. But usually when we are talking about, for example, some statues within a church, they usually are within a niche. Quatrefoil is a Gothic term or a Gothic design feature in architecture. Quatrefoil actually means 4 leaves, as you can see here in the tracery. And tympanum, okay, this is the area within the pediment, often decorated with scrolls and sawn ornaments, scallops, sliding sculpted figures, etc., etc. Very, very richly decorated. And that's it. So go back, take notes if you need to. If not, that's it.